Alrighty, so we are a little late, but we saw episode 5, and now we have our little updates as to what happened. So last episode, Kyland won HOH, and then um, that was pretty much it, right? That's where it finished, and then they get picked up again after the HOH compact thing, right? Because then they talked about the rogue vote or whatever.
Yes. So it starts off immediately right after. It starts right after the nominations, and everybody is questioning these two rogue votes that Derek F. and Tiffany threw out against Alyssa. Immediately, they start jumping in, whispering in the ears, trying to figure out who is this person that threw these votes.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know what the reasoning behind it was, honestly, because I mean, I guess maybe I missed something, but I thought Derek was just doing it for fun, like just to mess with the house, and then Tiffany apparently had some other idea, I guess.
Yeah, so the explanation Tiffany gave onto why she threw the rogue votes was because she had made a promise with Frenchie that if he kept her safe, he would then go rogue vote the next week in order to pin it on Derek X and try to get Derek X out. So that was the whole reasoning.
I don't think anybody caught on to that, right? I don't think they're thinking that Derek X did anything.
Well, at the beginning of the episode, the little group formed, and in the group is Alyssa, Christian, and Brent, and they do question in whether if it was Derek X, but Alyssa shuts that down right away, and she's like, "No, they're going to try to pin it on him, and I already know that. I trust him."
Right.
So she's the one that was able to convince.
Yeah, I think she kind of has like a little bit of a crush on him.
On Derek X?
I think so, because I was watching the live feed yesterday a little bit, and they're playing some game or whatever, and like it was kind of, I don't forget what the name was of the game, but like everybody goes around and answers, like I think it's like that F, Marry, Kill thing, that little game.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And they had to like say the names of the three in their group or something like that. And Alyssa was just like so curious to find out what X's answers were. And she was like, okay, but you have to answer. Like she kept pushing for him to answer. I'm like, why is she so curious about his answers? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
So, she might. I mean, I think that she really is feeling Christian, to be honest. But because they're still being labeled as a group. I'll go a little bit into that later in the explanation.
Yeah.
But they're still pinned as a group. So I haven't really watched the live feeds a lot. I've been kind of busy. But from the episode wise, I do see them together a lot.
I don't know. I guess it's kind of hard to say because I don't see it, but I see Christian definitely wanting to kind of push that, but Alyssa's kind of putting like a wall on that, like, no, I'm sorry, man. But I mean, I could be wrong.
It benefits her. It really benefits her if she doesn't stick around with Christian.
Yeah, he's too, I don't know. He's definitely like, I think out of the whole house, I think he's my least favorite as of right now. He's just not, he's not interesting. There's nothing to him really. I mean, it sounds rude, but it's the truth.
So right after they while they're still trying to figure out who did these rogue votes, Azar and Tiffany go into a room and they do this hilarious little stunt to act like they're
crying,
each other.
Right?
This comes after they read Kyland's note from home since his HOH. They go to the room and they act like they're crying, and in reality what they're doing is they are passing information to each other.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Which is funny because Derek X walks in and they act like they're crying and he slowly backs out like, oh, this is personal.
Right. Yeah, it was funny. Like at first I thought it was real. Like I really thought that Tiffany was crying, and then After a while, like I just see Azal laughing, like, why is she laughing? Like, this is a serious thing, you know? And then they both just start talking about how like they're just pretending so that they can talk game and stuff. I was like, that's brilliant. Like I like that strategy. Like it's so simple, but I think it's good, you know, because
Yeah,
nobody would really suspect.
it was very smart of them to do. Yes.
Yeah, I like that little thing. Um, I'm still kind of iffy with Tiffany, honestly though. Like she's just I don't know. She's all over the place, honestly, for me. Like she started off really slow, like very quiet-ish, and then like as days go on, like I feel like her feistiness is kind of coming out a little bit. Which I mean, I don't mind it, but I just feel like she's kind of a defensive person. Like I just don't think
Yeah,
that she wears her emotions on her sleeve for sure.
yeah, so I saw that too, and I actually wrote it down on my list. And I wrote down Tiffany is too confident with herself. Like she feels like she's
Mm-hmm.
running things. She feels like she can talk to people a certain way. And I think that's gonna be later down the road is gonna rub people the wrong way.
She definitely does act like she's running the game for some reason. In a way, I don't know. It's because she kind of tied herself to Frenchie. I don't know, but she definitely does act like she's running things. I'm like, not really, girl. You haven't really. She just has a big
Yeah,
personality, but I don't think no one's really running the game if you think about it right now. It's kind of like
I mean,
all over the place.
for a while, Frenchie thought that he was running the game too. He had his hands in all these different alliances, so he thought he was going to be
Right.
good. But as we will later see, that is not the case because then he runs to right after that he goes to the HOH room with
Mm-hmm.
Kyland to try to save himself, which goes absolutely nowhere.
Yep.
Um, Kyland has no type of interest in finding out anything from Frenchie. Frenchie
Right.
already knows, and he tells him, "Hey, I know you're gonna have people coming in and whispering in your ear," and
Right.
it did because Travis, before he left, he tried blowing up Frenchie's game,
Right.
and then Tiffany came and whispered stuff into his ear about Frenchie. So Frenchie was correct. Everybody was coming to Kyland already.
Yep. So no shocker there on the noms. I mean, I was a little bit shocked with Brittany nom. I wasn't expecting it really.
I wasn't expecting it, but after the conversation that he had with her in the HOH room, it makes sense because she came up too strong. Like she's like, I know you're the HOH, but I'm gonna ask you questions. And I loved his response to it. He was like, I'm HOH, I don't really have to answer your questions. I really like that. So it doesn't surprise me that Brittany's on the block. So
For
as we
sure.
know, Frenchie and
Mm-hmm.
Brittany ends up on the block. But
Right.
before that, they do play the wild card competition,
Right.
which um, Frenchie obviously volunteered with his team. He knows that
Mm-hmm.
he's not safe. He has to win
Right.
some type of safety. Sarah Beth knows that if she wins, he has a power and she doesn't want him to use it or have it. So she volunteers. And then the aces again leave it up to fate. Brent gets chosen. He's
Right.
okay with it. He kind of wanted to wait, but it is what it is. The competition was a memory comp,
Mm-hmm.
very basic memory type thing. Nothing special to it. Very interesting. You get splattered with the paint whenever you get an answer correct.
Right.
And Sarah Beth ultimately gets what she wants. She gets her win. Um,
Yep.
and then the most important and shocking part was her twist after she won.
Yeah, but what's the twist again? Like I think I missed it. Like
So
it
her
wasn't the same like the last time, right?
no. So this time she won the comp. She could guarantee her safety, but she would have to switch spots with somebody on Kylan's team since he was the HOH. So
That's
technically they would be moving.
right.
And Sarah Beth did not want to do that. So she decided to stay with her team. She claimed that she feels good with Kyland and that she wouldn't be
Right.
nominated. So she stays with her team, ultimately giving up safety for the week.
That's good though. It was a good and a bad in a sense because it is very risky because you know you're now not safe. At the same time, you're showing that you're a loyal person by staying with your team. I think she mentioned that. that she mentioned about like how she's really big on loyalty and stuff, that she wants to stay with her team because she's loyal to them. So I think that kind of speaks a little bit about her character, and people might see that as like, okay, well, she is someone that we would want to align with because she is loyal.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And she's playing
I
her
don't know.
game very, very well.
I think, yeah, she's definitely like on the ranks up there. Like with social games, she's up there. Like I think now that she won this little challenge, it potentially can make her look like a comp threat a little bit, but I don't think so. I think she just kind of like threw like a little win there, like just like, okay, won, whatever, move on to like the background now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So
After the wild competition, she decides to stay with her team. Then it goes straight into Kyland's HOH, where he starts asking people different questions. And no shocker here, but literally everybody that he spoke to, everybody, including Brent and Whitney, both threw out Frenchie's name. And what's interesting is that Frenchie and Whitney were close. But then he starts spiraling, and it rubs Whitney the wrong way enough to where she's like, I don't want to do anything with him. I don't want to be friends with him. So Frenchie just dug himself.
He started, I think he like, yeah, because they were having a conversation, I think, in one of the rooms, and he was kind of trying to eavesdrop a little bit. And then I think Whitney caught him or something like that. And then she went and talked to him. And then he was kind of making threats, right? Like he was saying like how there's snakes in the garden, and that they need to be there, we need a lawnmower or something like that. And I was just like, are you like threatening her right now? Like if you're trying to threaten her, like you're dumb. Like it's not gonna work.
The only two people that could potentially try to work for you was Brent and Whitney, and he kind of treated them really badly.
Right.
So at this point, it looks clear, unless he wins veto, it's looking like we might see Frenchie get evicted this week.
And he knows it too. 1,000%. Yes. He knows it. It's interesting to see that, you know, a few episodes ago I was like talking about like, okay, if Brent wins HOH, maybe that'll be like Frenchie's only saving grace, whatever. But even that is like, because I think, and one of the things I think Brent talked about how he wanted to compete in the wild card, and that if he won, he would keep himself safe or something like that. Like he wasn't acknowledging French at all. Like he was like, I'm sorry, man. Like this is for me. I can't save you, pretty much. So even that is already kind of
allies are gone.
I think the only one that he might have now is just Tiffany, from what it looks like.
No, Tiffany wants him out too, because whenever the wild competition is over, that's she goes, okay, now that we know who's safe and who's not, it's time to get Frenchie on the block.
Yeah.
So he literally has nobody at this point.
He sealed his own fate, unfortunately. I mean, like he definitely went in there wanting to play, and I respect that, but I think he definitely went in there a little bit too strong, like
too fast, too fast,
yeah, too fast, too strong, and it just didn't. I mean, I get it. He wanted to make big moves early on, but I don't know.
Yeah, and then right after that, after he speaks to Frenchie, and Frenchie kind of gets the vibe, oh, this is not going my way. Oh well, it is what it is. He then talks to Brittany, and this is when Brittany comes in really strong. She's like, I'm gonna ask you the questions, and Kyland ultimately finds out she's loyal. Yeah, she is, but she's loyal to her team.
Right.
And he found out that if she won veto, she was going to take Frenchie off the block, and that's not what Kyland wanted. So he had to put her next to Frenchie just in case she does win veto. Frenchie is still on the block.
That's ridiculous.
She sealed her own fate too on the block.
Right. And that's a smart
Brittany, move. Oh yeah.
Like that's really smart from Kyland that he put those two together, so that way there's really no chance of someone taking Frenchie out. Because I think besides just Brittany, I don't think anybody else would use the veto, right? I don't see it.
I don't see it either. I think it's sealed fate for the nominations at this point.
Yeah, either one of them is going to go home. I mean, ideally it would be French, but who knows? He might win the veto, and then. Although I hate, you know, like those pages that I follow on Facebook, I feel like they're always trying to put spoilers, and I just try to skip over them because I don't want to like have it be spoiled, but I don't know. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. So I mean, overall, the episode was very basic. We had another
Mhm.
wild card competition. We've kind of expected Frenchie to be nominated. It's what happened.
Yep.
Right now, my prediction is seeing Frenchie get evicted this week. It's all too clear right now. So
Mhm.
yeah,
I think the
basic
best case
episode.
scenario is Kyland wins the veto, so that way he kind of keeps the whole power, and then he can ensure that French goes pretty much. You know.
Yeah, we well hopefully.
Yep. I'm pretty sure it's
Hopefully.
going to be unanimous. It'll probably be unanimous unless there's someone out there that's wanting to do those rogue votes. Because I mean, honestly, like from playing orgs and stuff, like me and you, like I love throwing rogue votes. Like I just like to kind of just throw
It
it out
adds
there.
an excitement to the
Yeah,
game.
it does because it makes people more paranoid. So they try to figure out where is it going and where did the vote go, and like you just don't. You just kind of pretend like you went
Yeah.
with the majority, but you really didn't. You know. So
Yeah, but again, my prediction is Frenchie getting voted out Thursday if nominations stay the same. If I want to make a prediction on veto, which is kind of hard because we don't know who the
it's going to be
nominees
picked,
are to like play. Yeah,
right?
uh, I want them to stay the same.
For sure. Me too.
Ultimately.
I was thinking that we should do like a little rank. I mean, not right now, obviously, because we would need to write it down, but like a ranking from who we like the most, who we like least per episode, and just kind of like see how they
Mhm.
move around. Because, like for example, like me, Alyssa was like towards the bottom, and as the episodes go on, she's like slowly climbing up the ranks for me. I just like her personality now. Like I like her.
Yeah,
So,
I see what
and
you
then
mean. It would be
Azal,
very interesting to see it because Azal was at the top, and now
right?
she's slowly falling down.
She's not really doing much.
She
I mean, she
isn't.
talks to
Her
people, but she, yeah.
bio, her bio seemed
Mm-hmm.
like she was going to come in and do all this work, and now it's just like, where is that?
And again, it really seems like if it's her and Tiffany as like a little duo, Tiffany is definitely the one calling the shots. At least that's what it seems like so far. And it's like Azal, like that's not the kind of person I thought you were, but I mean that's what it looks like. I mean, there hasn't been much gameplay that much, but I definitely see Tiffany more on the player side. Like she's the one that's trying to make moves, and then Azal is just kind of like following.
Yeah, I see
I don't
that as
know.
well.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode, right? There wasn't anything else that we missed.
No, I think we went through the whole thing. We're pretty good. We covered
Yeah.
everything.
So then next day is Wednesday, and that'll be veto, right? So hopefully that again, I love veto, so I'm excited for the veto to see how it plays out. I mean, I would like something crazy to happen, but I mean, this week kind of seems a little easy. So I don't think there's gonna be a lot of drama unless like there's a big blow up amongst other people. But
Who knows? Frenchie might know that he's going home and he wants to blow up people's games and
yep,
dig his hole a little bit deeper. Who knows?
yep.
But we'll
Or
wait
he
and
might get
see.
himself off. You never know.
We never know.
Yep. Alrighty then. Okay, well then I guess we'll tune in again on Wednesday, and till next time.
Till next time.